Today I got a brand new Acer Aspire 5 laptop. I'm going to upgrade it. I'll show you how I do it. Hey guys, how's it going? Dale here. Today I have a brand new Acer Aspire 5 laptop. I'm going to do some upgrades inside. I'm also going to do a clone. I'm going to use the free cloning software from Crucial because I'm going to put in a brand new Crucial P5 M.2 NVMe. It's a 500 gig. The overall specs, let me tell you what this computer is here first of all. The exact model of this Acer Aspire 5 is an A515-56-36UT. It's got 11th gen Core i3, the 1115 G4 dual core processor. Comes with 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, 2666 megahertz. It's got a 15.6 inch full HD display, just your standard Intel UHD graphics. It doesn't have a GPU and it's not a gaming laptop. It's got 128 gigabyte NVMe M.2 in here. Like I said, I'm going to bump that up to a 500. It was in S mode. Most of these like this ship in S mode. I already switched it out of S mode for the customer. Now you could easily do a clean install if you want of Windows, but in this case the customer wants to stick with Windows 10 for now. She can, the laptop meets all the hardware requirements for Windows 11, so she can upgrade to that later. It's got wireless 6, the AX Wi-Fi. It's got a 48 watt-hour battery, but it's a pretty standard laptop. Sold a ton of these Aspire 5s. There's a lot of variations of these A515s, but like I said, this one has 11th gen Core i3 in it. So I'm just gonna do the clone, keep it kind of the way it is, and get all the updates and things like that for the Windows 10. Not Windows 11, but Windows 10. And I'm gonna add 4 gigabytes of DDR4 2666 to bring it up to 8 gigabytes. It's got one empty slot in here, and then 4 gigabytes of RAM on board that you can't change. And as an added bonus, I told her I just throw in a 1 terabyte Western Digital blue, kind of an OEM drive. It's a slim. You have to put in the slim drives. You can't put a thick one in there. It's a 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive. You could easily replace the hard drive with a SATA SSD if you wanted to. It's totally up to you, but in this case, I'm just throwing this in for her so she has a little extra storage. For her music and photos, she's probably going to dump a lot on here, she said. But the main drive will be the P5 Crucial M.2 2280 SSD. So I'm going to clone it. Before I open it up and do all that, I have to clone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a M.2 NVMe to USB adapter here, USB 3.0. I'm just going to pop my drive, my new drive, bare empty drive in here. Plugs right in, usually. Give me a minute to get this lined up here, guys. And I'm using the free Acronis True Image from Crucial. It's Acronis True Image, but it's branded just for Crucial. You have to have a Crucial drive in the loop somewhere. Western Digital also uses the Acronis. A lot of them do. It's free to download. I'll have a link down below where you can go and download it. You could also use like Macrium, Reflex 7, some of the other ones that are out there, the free ones. Not a whole lot of good free ones left anymore, but there are a few. So I got the drive in the enclosure here. I plugged it into my USB port over here. And I've already installed the Acronis True Image for Crucial. Right here's the shortcut on the desktop, so I'm simply going to launch the program. Like I said, I already downloaded it and installed it. Now at this point here, if you didn't have a Crucial drive, it'll just come up and say you can't use it because there's no Crucial drive. So it comes up, I'm going to click right here where it says clone disk. Let me get up here a little closer, hopefully you can see. It's a full HD display, so it's kind of small. I'm going to click on clone disk and just choose the automatic. It says recommended, so we're going to leave it at automatic. Get a little closer. I don't want my drive to fall off the bench here. I'm going to click on next, and there's only, excuse me, I'm going to select the source right here, which is the 128 gig NVMe OEM Samsung that's in there right now from the factory. I'm going to click on next. And here's our not initiated, it says. That's our new Crucial P5 drive right there, our 500 gig. Just select it and hit next. And pretty much all you do here is click on proceed at the bottom right down here. So I'll just click on proceed and we'll let the cloning process start. Once this gets going here, I'm going to speed this up a little so we can jump right to the end so we can get the parts in there and get the upgrade done. But I want to let it get started here so you can see. It'll say preparing. I recommend when you're doing any kind of clone, whether you got lots of data or no data. In this case, there's really no data. It's just Windows basically out of the box. Don't be connected to the internet. Make sure there's no pending updates or it's not downloading updates in the background. Just make sure the computer is not busy doing anything when you start the clone. And try not to use the computer during the cloning process, especially when you're inside the Windows environment like this, just to make sure you get a good clone. I've done millions of clones and I just kind of learned all the tricks on how to get a good clone. You can see it's already started copying and it's going to go pretty quick here. So I'm going to let this go. When it gets almost to the end, I'll come on back and we'll wrap it up. Alright guys, it's just about done here. You see the whole clone probably took less than 5 minutes. There's no accumulation of data on here, it's just the Windows 10. So the clone, it went really quick. So we're going to let it finish up here. It'll pop up here in a second and say that the clone was successful. We'll shut it down, install our parts. Have a nice little upgrade. Modest little upgrade, but still going from 128 gig SSD to a 500 will give her a little breathing room. When they ship these things in S mode, typically they have 128 gig SSD in them. That's just the way they do it. It's the way Microsoft does it. But it's easy to remedy, just a few little upgrades, whether it's an Acer, or a Lenovo, or a Dell, or an HP, Asus, whatever. I do them all. All right, the disk was successfully cloned. So I'll just click on OK, we'll close the program. Once all is said and done, you get back into Windows with the new drive, you can easily uninstall the Acronis. It's about a 500 megabyte program, so you can get rid of that. If you ever need it again, you can install it. It's free. I will link down below where you can download that from Crucial. So let's just go over here and shut it off. Do a proper shutdown on it. Unplug the drive. I'm going to pop it out of the little enclosure here, the new P5 Crucial NVMe drive. This is the drive that I'm putting in from Crucial. They got the P2s, they're a little lower end. The P5s perform pretty well. Good budget drive. I gave them a choice of this or Samsung. They chose this. Costs a little less than the Samsung. Make sure it's, close the lid, make sure it's all the way off, which it is. Okay guys, I already took all the screws out. I always usually do that ahead of time because save time for the video. But all the screws are the exact same type, same length, so it doesn't really matter which one goes back in which hole. But I typically just lay them out on a magnetic board like this, just for whatever. Sometimes they have different lengths depending on the brand. Asus does that a lot. They like using different lengths. All right, so with all the screws out, on these, they're pretty tight in the seams here. It's kind of hard to see. But these seams along where the bottom pan meets the top, it's pretty tight. So I'm usually on these Aspire 5s, if you get in the back here, I got a little nylon thin little spudger tool here. I can get it started in the back if you're careful. Don't poke in too far, please. You can damage stuff in there. Just want to kind of get the tabs popped loose like that. That's a good thing. Making that noise. You can see it's already coming apart right here, okay? Without a lot of pressure, but you don't want to shove in your tools here because here's the cooling vents for the CPU. They've got little vents in there. You got to be careful you don't break that plastic surrounding those. I'll just kind of work my way around here. I also like to use these plastic triangle spudger tools. They have a little lip on them, so you can't shove it in the computer too far. And get it broke loose and just kind of jiggle it, but if it doesn't come off easy, don't force it too much, but there, it kind of lifted right off. So we're going to get that out of the way. So let me get my pointer. All right, here's the 2.5-inch bay over here, Acer. All the Aspire 5s come with a caddy, either already pre-mounted inside or it'll be in the box, depending on if you got an AMD or an Intel. Typically the Intels are already inside. The AMD versions, they just throw it in the box along with the mounting screws and the cable. This one has a cable already attached right here to the motherboard for the SATA cable. I'm going to mount that 1 terabyte Western Digital drive right in here. Here's our M.2 drive that we're going to take out, replace with a new one we just cloned, and we're going to put our 4 gigs of RAM here. I am going to unplug the battery just to show you how to do it. And, if you're super careful and don't drop or touch anything in here, don't drop a screw or a screwdriver on your main board, you should be fine. But just so I don't get yelled at later, I always show people how to disconnect the battery. It's right here. I just got to remove the tape. This little connector right here is going to slide back towards the battery. These ones come out quite simple, quite easily. Boom, the battery's unplugged. But if you're going to do that, you might as well take an extra second, carefully open it up, and hold in the power button a few times here so we can discharge any residual juice that's flowing in the circuits there. That way, if you do accidentally drop your screw or a screwdriver on there, you're not going to brick your board, because it can happen. So we got the battery disconnected. I'm going to grab my number 0 Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to get that M.2 drive out of there from the factory. Just one little mounting screw right here. Very short, tiny little screw, don't lose it. Pop out the factory drive. Put in our new Crucial we just cloned onto. Hopefully we got a good clone. It should boot right up. Plug it in. Put the screw back in. Don't over tighten this, just till it stops basically. And I'm going to pop in the 4 gigabytes of DDR4 into one slot right over here, and you can see it only goes in one way. So I'm just going to put it in, make sure it goes in, and you get a good click. Make sure your clips come over, which they did. And now we're going to take out the caddy here for the 2.5-inch drive. Get rid of the tape here holding the cable down. That out of the way. They've already ran it underneath the battery and plugged it in the board. That's good. So we're just going to take out 4 screws here and hold the caddy in place. You can see this is a pretty quick little upgrade, even with the clone. Could probably do about 10 or 12 of these a day. But a lot of them aren't this easy. See how I just accidentally slipped with my screw there and went over on this little logic board here, but no harm because no juice. Just got to take your time. And always protect yourself from static electricity when you're inside your laptop or your desktop. Don't touch anything you don't have to touch. Keep your tools and your screws away from everything, and you should be fine. So I'm going to put my hard drive in. I believe it goes in label up into the caddy here, just like that. It does. Now this is a slim drive. It's 2.5-inch slim. The older style 2.5-inch drives are quite a bit thicker. I don't think these are like 7 or 9 millimeters thick, if I'm not mistaken. But if you just, most of the new modern 2.5-inch drives are all slims. Especially if you get like a Seagate or a Western Digital or whatever. Not many left these days, brand-wise. I'm going to put my 4 mounting screws in the caddy to hold the drive in, which come with the this laptop. Again, I just kind of threw this drive in. I do that a lot for my customers. I get these M.2 SSD upgrades and memory upgrades. If they got a bay in that particular model I'm doing, I'll say, well, I'll throw in a 1 terabyte hard drive. Give you a little extra storage. If you want to use it just for pictures and music, you can easily go into the properties of the folder and you can change the location so it points to the D drive or E drive or whatever it happens to be, by default. So when you put pictures or music, whatever, on your computer in Windows, it'll just automatically go to the new drive without a lot of fuss. It's pretty simple to do. All right, so we got the drive mounted in the caddy. Boom. Gonna plug it in. Leave that tape in there once I get it installed. I know the angle ain't the greatest, guys, but doing the best I can. Make sure it plugs in all the way. And it only goes in one way. when you pop it in there, there's little tabs here in each corner that kind of lines it up so your screw holes are perfectly aligned there. Pretty straightforward. Put our tape back down there. Now I'll put the 4 mounting screws in for the caddy. And don't forget to plug the battery back in, Dale. But typically on a busy day when we're doing a lot of these upgrades or inside doing stuff like this, don't typically disconnect the battery. We're just really careful. Never ever, 25 plus years, had an issue. Never had an issue with static electricity. People sometimes make comments or ask questions in the comments about static electricity, and just use a good ESD wristband, a work mat, just be in an anti-static environment. All my bench tops are covered with a soft commercial grade anti-static carpet, plus I treat the work areas and the floor with a product called Static Side that you can buy online. It's like a commercial type liquid you buy in a gallon. You can dilute it, put it in a spray bottle, just a couple coats in the morning and you're good to go. But never ever had a problem. And again, just be careful. So I'm going to plug our battery back in here. And I'm always doing this and sliding around, and actually I had people leave comments saying, oh my God, you're scratching that brand new computer, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, nothing wrong with me, what's wrong with you? All right, so I got the battery reconnected, put our tape back in place, just to make sure it doesn't jiggle around there. All right, so anyway, got the new hard drive, got the new P5 M.2 Crucial NVMe drive, and we got 4 more gigs of RAM. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to put the bottom pan back on and see if we got a good clone. And I'm going to snap this back into place, but I'm not going to put all the screws in it. I never do until I'm all the way done with the job, just in case I got to pop it back open for whatever reason. And it does happen, just depends. Forgot to plug in the battery, or something went wrong, or something just flat out isn't working. All right, the battery should be all charged up. I did that clone, I believe I did it on battery power. It's a good idea to have your cord plugged in when you're doing your clone. You don't want your battery to die halfway or midway through your clone. So let's open the lid. Hit Mr. Power button. Do a lot of these just Fire 5s. They're pretty popular selling laptops, Lenovo's. So a lot of those as well. These days though, with the way the world's been going, I do a lot of repairs, lots of repairs. People are trying to salvage their older computers. They don't care about Windows 11 right now. They just don't want to spend money on a brand new computer right now. Prices are a little on the high side and availability is kind of limited. So it's booting up. Looks like we got a good clone. Gonna go in real quick, and I gotta take care of that 1 terabyte drive. Again, I know this is kind of hard to see here, guys. Let me just open up File Explorer here real quick. So there's our new 1 terabyte, our 500 gig Crucial P5 we just put in. Got lots of space now instead of that dinky little 128. I'm gonna go into disk management. I'm just gonna go down to the start button here. I'll right click, or you can search for it. Just go to disk management, and it should pop right up, which it did. Here it's just saying disk 0. We're going to hit OK, and I'm going to set all the defaults on this. No, there we go, unallocated. You could partition it if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit new simple volume. Here's where you can chop it up if you wanted to into different partitions. I'm just going to accept the defaults and hit next. It's going to have the drive letter D, looks like. You can name the volume here if you want. You can do this later. I'll just put in HDD. Ooh, hit my caps lock. I'm at a weird angle here, guys. Sorry. I'm going to click next, hit finish, get it initialized, do a quick format, and it should pop up here in a second. All right, there's our empty 1 terabyte drive. So now you can see we got a 1 terabyte empty hard drive. If you wanted to go like to your, say, your pictures folder here, I think I did a video, separate video on this a while back. Pictures, music, documents, whatever. You can just go to the, in your folders, just right click on it and go to properties. And go up here where it says location. And right here you can change the default location, the target they call it. Here it says see, users, username, pictures. You can just change that. You could delete all that out of there and just put in D:\/ pictures or music or whatever you want. And then when you put photos on here or music, they're going to show up in these folders, but they're going to be at a different location instead of on your C drive. It's pretty simple to do. All right, but that's something you should do from the get-go, because changing it back and forth midway, it can get a little confusing for everything. So if you're going to do it right from the get-go. So there, and one last thing, I'll go into my task manager here. Oh, doing this sideways. Anyway, there's task manager. I just want you to be able to see on this HD display. I go to performance. Here's our memory. It says 8 gigabytes, 2 of 2 used, 2666. No problem there. Here's our disk 1, which is our Crucial 500 gig. And of course our HDD, which is our 1 terabyte. All right, so we added the RAM, the bigger, a little bit faster M.2 NVMe drive, and the extra hard drive. So there, I'm going to do some updates. Going to leave it Windows 10. That's what the customer wanted for now, and get rid of Acronis True Image. I'll uninstall that, and we should be good to go. So I hope the video is helpful, guys. Like I said, you could do a clean install if you want Windows 10. If you opted to do a clean install of Windows 11 from an ISO or off a USB drive, that's fine. It'll still activate because it's already got a digital license for Windows 10. So 11 will go on no problem at all. But in this case, I want to do the clone using the free Acronis True Image from Crucial, just to show you how to do it. So I hope the video was helpful. Like I said, give me a like. Subscribe would be awesome as well. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.